Stay ahead of the curve and get updates on the latest trends in politics, government, policies, education, economy, social development, amongst others.
We're happy to announce today that both the federal government and the organized labor have agreed on an increase on the 62,000 naira minimum wage.
Join AYODEJI, AJISOPE
and
LAFFY
on from the dailies every weekday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Solutions 93.9 FM as they dive into the headlines with in-depth analysis and feedback from you on different stories from the national dailies. Start your day by gaining fresh perspectives, uncovering the story behind the story, and join the conversation. Because your voice matters. From the dailies, the conversation never stops.
Alright, thank God it's another beautiful Friday morning in a big and beautiful city of Ibadan. My name is AYODEJI LAFFY. It's the 8th day in the month of November 2024, and we are back here to give you the trending stories in some of today's national dailies on the program from the dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. I have comrade AYODEJI AJISOPE beside me this morning.
Yeah, we'll say thank God it's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually have to thank God for life. And not just for life, for sound health of body and mind.
Okay. Let me ask you, did you have a power supply? How stable has the power supply been in your area in the last 2 days?
Well, I was in my bedroom and there's this circulating, what I call circulating area in our house. And I suddenly, I think about 10 or thereabout, and I saw something that looked like, I said, and I asked my wife, I said, what is that? Is it looking like because I had to ask I said, what is this? Is it power that has been restored? She said, yes. I said, okay.
Well, I would say you're a bit lucky, actually. At least for the past 2 days or thereabout now. I don't think I've seen such in my area. And now, looking at the papers this morning, virtually all the papers, we started this week with the story of another grid collapsing. And on the papers this morning, Syria grid collapses has been put by the Punch newspaper. Syria grid collapses. FG orders overall as TCN fears more breakdowns. And that is
well, we'll get to the story. You see, what I found quite amusing, Honorable Minister orders overhaul. TCN is giving one reason. The Ministry of Information is giving one reason. I mean, everybody's just talking at cross purposes.
Okay. Still looking at the Punch newspaper. Actually, let me take the riders now. FG plans 20-hour daily power by 2027. Orders equipment revamp. Diri laments Bayelsa's 3-month blackout. I mean,
do you know when Bayelsa started at his estate? Nobody was paying for power. They were running on turbines, and everywhere was lit.
So what went wrong?
Well, that's the question we should ask.
That's quite deep. All right, still looking at the Punch newspaper this Friday morning. Battle oil mafia. NNPCL should make refineries work. Obaibena. That story is found on page 14 of the Punch newspaper.
NNPCL.
NNPC. Obaibena is telling NNPCL to make refineries work.
Okay.
Okay, it's just like an advice to them. 32 states owe contractors, retirees 933 billion naira. Page 27.
You can round it up to 1 trillion.
1 trillion. That means
I mean, you can imagine how consequential
32 states
that is.
owing contractors and retirees.
Believe you me, without applauding, I think Oyo has made deliberate and conscious effort under this administration of
especially when it comes to attending to the needs of the retirees.
Yeah. People, you see, it is not, sometimes it's not the amount of money you get, but the stability it provides.
The consistency.
You are sure
the
it is coming. That is why banks give people in Oyo State, what do you call it, salary advance. Any bank you are, any financial institution you are banking with, on your phone, you can take 50% of your
salary in advance.
So it is, and then you go to the market. They will give them, they will let them take things up front, and then they know, because there is stability. And that is the most important thing, stability.
All right. Another story, Nigeria undergoing major reset after subsidy removal, Soludo. And things are gearing up for the governorship poll in Ondo. Ondo governorship poll, sensitive materials to arrive Tuesday in police as police deploy 22,000 officers. 22,000 officers for a Guber election in one state. We'll talk about that.
And INEC will pay them bonuses.
Of
In fact,
course.
they paid them before they depart.
They must have been paid before they are being deployed. All right, still taking stories.
And some states held local government elections without police.
River State.
Kano too.
So what is now the function of the police?
22,000 police. How many policemen were
If River State could conduct
deployed in America's presidential election?
a big joke.
A huge joke, bro.
2027, Makinde Saraki won PDP bigwigs against division. Customs intercept 16 containers of illicit drugs, and the last one, Lagos invites bids for power plants. Okay, that's all.
Lagos is moving.
Lagos is moving.
But it is the pricing of power that is the big challenge, and the grid.
Now, talking about the grid, on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, National Grid collapses second time in 3 days. TCN blames frequency spike for blackout. Adelabu orders immediate implementation of committee's report. And still talking about the power sector, IBEDC disconnect UCH again.
When I saw that frequency issue, I was totally alarmed. You see, frequency is the quality of power. And if it goes above 50, there will be consequences.
My concern now, talking about the consequences, is the fact that IBEDC has disconnected UCH, University College Hospital.
What was the problem with that?
Riders, patients resort to torchlight to access wards at night.
Look, I have had engagements in interfacing with UCH for a period of time now. It's this thing, IBC, even when IBC did not disconnect, look, a cousin of mine was undergoing treatment, it was a 3-week cycle, she will return there. 21 days she will return. And she's just supposed to spend 3 days. They run tests and then they treat her. And then 3rd day or thereabouts she leaves. On 2 or 3 occasions, she was there for 10 days. Why? No power, no water. They could not run the basic test.
What is wrong with UCH? Why will UCH...
And they're charging for energy power.
IBEDC is claiming that UCH is owing huge amount of money.
Is this the first time? Do you about 3 months ago?
But why is UCH owing that much?
So do patients owe UCH?
And putting the lives of the patients in jeopardy. Now, hospitals shift to generators, inverters for critical areas. Imagine patients resorting to torchlight to access wards at night.
That my cousin was buying a bag of pure water to take a bath every morning.
What is going on in UCH?
Well, I think you see. Look, that was
UCH is like you said. UCH will not treat you without being paid. I mean,
you pay up front.
You pay up front. So
pay up front.
where is all this money going into?
Okay, I'll give you an instance. There was a day I went to a corporation and I saw a motorcade of 2 SUVs. They were actually the what they call Lexus SUV.
Apparently for the CMD.
For the CMD. And then these utility vehicles, Hilux, about 3 or 4 of them. And I said, who is here? And they said the CMD of UCH. And I went into the conference room to in spite of the fact that, I knew it was him. Of course, I knew the number of
the number plate.
You see. So I went to the conference room where they were hosting me. And I said, what on earth is happening to us? And I'm talking about 3 years ago. It was the CMD of UCH. And those guys, the motorcade drivers, they were running the vehicle engines. They didn't shut down. And I said, look, for God's sake, you recall that there was a CMD there that was going around with armed guards. And siren blaring.
Yes.
And they asked him why. He said, security. And I asked, now, since he left that office, has he been still going around with armed guards?
And those vehicles you talk about, you spoke about now, probably they are V6, V8 vehicles.
Oh yes, except probably for the, of course, I mean those are 8, 6
quantity of
and
petrol.
and I said, look, the vice chancellor, even now, the VC, you won't see the vice chancellor of any university right around the more.
But I think UCH should know how crucial power is to the well-being of the patients in that place.
To everything that they do. I lived in UCH, I mean, a senior sister and her husband, and and of course for whatever reason, and
let's just assume that probably the debt is too huge. I mean, they should be able to at least to negotiate with the IBEDC. Okay, this is how much we'll be paying. I mean, because if they understood the fact that power is so crucial to the lives of the people, I mean, the lives of the patients in that hospital. UCH, I mean, this is the hospital that people were coming from out of the country years back to receive treatment.
Yeah, they're still the vibrant tertiary institution.
With this condition?
Well, though...
With this state?
Though they do not have what it takes. Because I remember...
They used to have what it takes there.
Of course they did. I mean tech-wise. You see, those people that are running away, the medical people, I mean, the entire medical setup that are running away, people think it's about money alone. It is not about money alone.
Definitely.
It is about, for me, and I've asked some of them, it's about the operational environment.
Conducive working environment.
Yes.
Where everything works.
Yes.
And that will put you at your best.
I was in UCH accident and emergency one day, and the doctor there was going stark raving mad, and he was barking and shouting, and he was telling me that there are only 2 nurses here attending to 18 patients in an accident and emergency ward.
In UCH.
I'm not telling tales from I read somewhere. They are under intense pressure.
I can imagine.
Under intense pressure.
I can imagine. I mean, talking about the working...
Sometimes I don't even understand how they manage to go
conducive
on.
working environment. I mean, just imagine us in the studio now having to hold this mic with one hand.
And then there's no air conditioning.
With no air conditioning. I will be fed up. So I can imagine what those doctors live in the country
do
feel.
that every day. Look, a cousin of mine, got broken up, fell off a story building, got broken up. Huge guy. You say he put steel plates in his legs. When they got to him, I say, "What the hell is this?" When I say, "Who does this again?"
When there are better ways, there are modern ways of restructuring the bones.
What to
this obsolete, archaic method.
They put steel plates. So we are, and it's not as if those guys are not trained. They are well trained. It is these same people that go out there and
do
immediately
wonders.
excel.
And do wonders over there.
So it's not as if they are not trained. They are very well. Look, UCH, come on, UCH has expertise. I can't say that.
But it is owing
Because we
but
interface.
the same UCH
because-
is now owing IBEDC now.
Yeah, you know, this thing happened about 4 or 5 months ago, or 5 months ago. Now they disconnected.
And that's why it's reported again.
But you see, priorities. They will say salary is priority. So okay, so is personnel. You know, there's always one challenge in academic. You know, UCH, there is an overlap. There is a hospital,
The teaching hospital,
and there is a
then.
college
The
of
college, yeah.
medicine. The college of medicine is situated where the one they call the clinicals are situated within UCH. UCH is separate, of course, totally, but it is the clinical practicing platform for the College of Medicine that belongs to the university. That's where they interface. You know, so the big question is, there is supposed to be a ratio of support staff, non-academic staff to academic staff. And if you look at it, the non-academic staff ratio to the academic staff ratio is not what it is supposed to be. And that usually results in heavy burden of staff wages.
Okay, now let's go back to the national grid issue before we leave this power sector. I mean, second time in 3 days. What should be done? I mean, now everybody is running helter-skelter. TCN is putting blame on something, and the power minister is making orders that a particular report should be implemented. And why wait until this moment when things are now getting out of hand,
Deceive ourselves.
out of control?
We love to deceive ourselves, and we like motion.
And this is the
This
country.
is motion that will not produce any movement.
And this is the country that our president Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been going around the world to woo investors into to come and invest in a country where we are experiencing incessant grid collapses.
There's one particular station that I listen to, and they use it as part of their signature too. One caller, and you know the usual callers to say, they say, which investors are they inviting to Nigeria again?
That is my concern
Are
now.
investors not aware that there's no power again in Nigeria?
That's what I'm saying. That was when I saw the papers this morning. That was what came to my mind. I mean, look at the number of grid collapses we've had in the last 1 month.
Do you know?
In the last 2 months.
Do you know one major thing?
And we are going out there to bring to woo investors
they will
into
woo
this
investors.
country.
Do you know what they tell investors?
What?
We got the numbers.
Which number?
Of course, the market.
The market.
Yeah. Whatever happens, we got the market. You're going to sell your stuff.
Oh, okay. So not minding the cost of producing.
That is the number one selling point they go about with. We got the market.
Well,
We got a huge
is it not
market.
a case of
What
putting
about other
the,
factors? Is that, maybe we did in economics, factors
But it's
for that determine siting of industry.
But it's
It's
an
power not
obvious
critical.
situation of putting the cart before the horse.
We love to this. Okay.
Shouldn't
Honorable
we
Min-
get this right before wooing investors to come?
You see, we love to deceive ourselves. Honorable Minister says orders, overhaul of
TCN.
Okay, it's like LNPC has a 5,000 kilometer network of pipelines, and then LNPC itself is renting tank farm to store his own product. When NNPC has about 18 depots
That is not making
and
use
has
of-
5,000 kilometers of net, there from Atlas Cove, they pump to Ijigbo, they pump to Masini, they pump to Ore, they pump to Ibadan, they pump to Ilorin, and NNPC itself for $2.50 they now rent. They rent
Private farm tanks.
yeah,
Tank
but-
farms now.
That is why you see this power thing. They know now. Thank God, Lagos is moving ahead. look, Professor Batunanji, you remember the man was a power minister under Obasanjo, but they, you know how they got the man out? They said conflict of interest. The man has done something in the southeast now. They don't only set up a power generating company, they set up a grid to back it up. A grid. So there's a section of the southeast now, I think it's called Aba something. Not just a generating company. They set up their own grid and they are supplying power 24/7 to industries. And you know in the southeast there are industries. Now, NEPA did something to UCH when they refused to pay the 400 million and they disconnected. They said UCH has 38 power generating sets and that they were running the generating sets. In fact, way back then, they said they were running it at the cost of 400 naira per kilowatt, and they were demanding NEPA or whatever PHC. The disco was demanding only 209 naira per kilowatt per hour. Yet UCH was running their generating sets at 400 naira.
So they would rather run.
They did an analysis.
Yes, I'm following you.
They did an analysis. So why are they not paying them? Say, come, let's negotiate. Okay, you owe us 400 million. You can't afford to pay it once. Okay, let's sit down with a plan. First payment integrated with continuous payment. Okay, why are they not paying?
That was why I said earlier that they should have reached a kind of compromise. I mean, negotiate, go to the table and say, okay, this is how we will pay in.
But we should also ask, are they being supplied? You see, normally institutions like this, they are on, I think the one they call, is it at 3 kV or 133 kV? You know, that's what they are on. But are they being supplied?
Okay, okay, that's another.
Look, we were migrated to my band A, and I called the PRO of the disco. I said, you people migrate, even on band B, you are not supplying us the 16 hours. You now migrate us to band A. And I see that they are struggling. I mean, it is apparent from the way the light power is restored, goes with a struggle and in an attempt to struggle to, but they are unable to because they just don't have the capacity.
Now, before we leave this power issue now, what should be the lasting solution to end all this incessant grid collapses we've been experiencing?
We will have a national grid covering 1 million square miles.
Just one?
In one national grid.
Okay.
And of course, they have, you know, they know the way they run their thing, they can bypass.
So what should
we have one, look,
what should be done?
We have the Electricity Act, but the environment is hostile to investment. Nigerians don't want to pay for power, you know. Nigerians don't want to pay for power. People are sabotaging with the connivance of even the disco workers.
But these Nigerians, when we leave the country, we stick to the rules over there.
And you will stick to the rules because the problem is that sanction. When you send, I mean, you see, there are some things I will never.
Does it mean that there are no sanctions for not paying here?
The only reason why people continue to behave like that is that because they are not sanctioned. If you are sanctioned, you won't do it again. And you see, the problem is here. You will see the person that wants to sanction you. Over there, it is systems and structures. You are not going to see anybody. Mr. Aliu, Shebi Yoruba Kana ni wa. There is no.
And that settles it.
And that settles it.
And things change hands.
I mean, you
items change hands.
You know, so you don't see nobody. It is you are not interfacing with individuals. So who are you going to say, Mr. Kabiru, Shebi Yoruba Kana, Ijesha, all sorts of silly, you know, things, and then. You know, when there's so much interface, personal interface, it's so necessary. What is the problem? You want to pay your tax, go somewhere. Like I just said, all these, the one they collect on the roads, the park PMS. Why are people collecting naira and kobo? Why don't you people just give them cards? And those guys come with only machines like the POS and swipe. And go.
And it makes the deductions.
It makes deductions. We are not transparent. You see, we are deceiving ourselves. The fact is that they say provision before provision. Provide us with power, we will pay. You understand? And then if I don't need 24 hours of power, you understand? If I don't need 24 hours of power at 209 naira, then I will switch off my deep freezer. I will switch off my equipment if I don't need it.
Abi?
It's as simple as if I don't need more than 12 hours, to keep some of my stuff running. If I don't need more than 12 hours, I switch it off. I will simply not consume. You understand? So I won't pay for what I don't consume. But now people have postpaid meters. They pay for what they don't consume. How do you do that? And you are not supplying there. One woman,
They give them estimated bills.
estimated bills. One woman that used to be my neighbor, she had a plant, pure water making plant, and there was a pillar, was hit by over the weekend, and for one whole week, the woman was lamenting because she was running on diesel for production, and they were still going to bring her estimated bill.
I was speaking with a manager of a particular branch of IBEDs. I don't want to mention the branch. I was speaking with him in his office, and he told me that how they run this estimated billing, that they just come to some areas and be like, okay, these people, they are working class, they should be able to pay so amount. So give them this bill.
How many are distributed?
And I asked them, I said, are you supplying them? How are you checking if they are getting the supply of what?
No.
He couldn't give me a good answer.
That's the marketing arm. They give them targets of revenue targets. Just
He mentioned that.
How can you give people revenue targets?
He mentioned that
You
that
give people
they
revenue.
had to meet targets.
You are not
So
talking
you are
about.
not bothered about me
Yeah,
getting
so
the
service.
value for the money I'm paying.
No.
All you're after is just to
Money.
make. All right, let's leave that for another day.
So how do we do that?
Okay, let's go to another particular issue. It's still from the Daily Zone Solutions 93.9 FM. Interesting stories on the papers this morning. There's one that really caught my attention this morning on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. And it says, Nigeria, 8 other countries to ban corporal punishment. Join other 100 nations to end childhood violence. I mean, corporal punishment while we were growing up is all when your teachers or your parents say, okay, stool down, okay, getting flogged, caned. But I find it somehow alarming if Nigeria is saying that Nigeria wants to pull out and ban corporal punishment.
Well, you see, in this global space which we live now, strings are attached.
Attributing corporal punishment to child abuse.
Yeah. Have you forgotten the gay marriage thing? That in the days of Jonathan, that subtle threats were issued against countries.
Oh, I remember now. I remember,
Africa.
yes.
You see, what about our culture?
That is that.
What
What about the
our
culture?
identity? What about who we are? And people will even tell you that even the scripture says it is a whip that excises.
There's a part in the scripture that says,
It is a whip.
spare the rod and spoil the child.
And there's another part that says it is a whip that excises the little madness that.
I think I like the Yoruba version. I love the way the Yoruba version puts it.
It is a whip that excises.
Imagine me having a child that misbehaves and I can't. It is forbidden for me to spank such a child. That's what it means.
You spank lovingly.
No, that's what we do.
Yoruba say it's about for what we are for.
But now they want to ban corporal punishment.
They want to turn.
What will be
our
the
essence.
what will be the implication of this?
We lose. We become who we are not. It's as simple as that. A lot of that has happened to us. Nigerians, you go to the United States in 1 month and you come back here and start, or you go to England and start. It's even easier to mimic Americans. And you start talking like, what is it? We are not English, neither are we Americans.
Because like I was telling you,
Why do I want to? What about Indians? Do Indians bloody care about how they sound when they speak English. Have you ever seen Indians trying to sound like Americans?
So you're saying that probably Nigeria is trying to tilt to pressure
Yeah,
to a kind of
it's
pressure
a carrot and stick thing.
from this developed countries.
If you dig, it's a carrot and stick thing.
But should we now throw away our essence, our cultural heritage? This has been part of our culture. I mean, I was telling you before we started the program that some of us, while we were kids, we were naughty in quotes. That if not for the canes from the teachers, from daddy and mommy, we would have turned out into something else.
You know when you.
But these canes, I think, gave us sense and put us back in the default setting, like they put it.
You know, it is. I think it is even goes beyond the cane. It instills in you the fear of God. It is part of the processes of, if you misbehave, there will be consequences.
Yes.
And you know the consequences could be severe. So, and then when you take that out, there will be problem in school. So
There will be problem. Like
there will be problem now when the student knows that the teachers dare not touch him or her.
it's been banned. You cannot.
It is forbidden. And you know parents.
And
go
not
to-
you don't want to try that with this generation of kids that we are. You know,
Even-
when we were young, we there was still a kind of discipline in us. But these kids these days, some of them, majority of them, don't even
and
have that
parents
discipline.
are not helping matters.
Now you are now if you now remove corporal punishment,
officially, and then the children, no teacher must beat you. No teacher must beat you. I think we are losing our identity, and I think it is Yoruba nation that is most guilty.
why? Ow.
We don't. Even illiterates, they compel their children to speak English. I find it quite upsetting and disgusting. And have you forgotten when my parents would don't speak in vernacular? What's the meaning of that? Our own language in vernacular.
I know my father could speak about 5 different languages. He could speak Ashanti, he could speak Hausa, he could speak English very well. But while growing up in the house, I can't remember my father ever speaking to me in English language.
Because English is the language of instruction in school, you will pick it up. You understand? Say about so I believe him, I find it disgusting. No?
And this is, to be honest now, we're on air now. This is peculiar to we, the Yoruba.
It is most trident.
Because I have friends that are from the...
You will not go to Igbo homes and speak in English.
Let me finish now. I have friends living in America with kids, and even over there, they communicate with their kids, with their children in the house in Igbo language. Now look at Yorubas here in Ibadan, and you say
illiterates,
even illiterate,
yes,
telling their kids not to speak Yoruba in the house.
Illiterates,
Probably we should enlighten the listeners.
And
now.
what English do they speak? What English do they speak? Look, you see the annoying thing is that the English we think we speak, we're not speaking English. Most times we're speaking Yoruba in English. Mumbo, I'm coming. We speak Yoruba in English, and we think we're speaking English. That is mother tongue. I did a little bit of, all of this English in 100 and 200. Mother tongue. We did. Look, your language is critical. A cousin of mine, she did not grow up in Nigeria. She grew up in Ghana and in England. She got married. She did not. She's Yoruba. She lived in England and Ghana. She started picking up Yoruba in her 20s. She got married to a Igbo Delta person. So, the children do not speak Yoruba. They do not speak Igbo. So I spoke to the first one, only 2 of them. I said, so you did history in A levels. You're a student of history, so you have an idea what I'm talking about. I said, who are you? What is your identity? Killer identity. What's your identity? Are you Yoruba or Igbo or English? She was looking at me.
Apparently lost.
Apparently lost. But you see, she's lost. The only thing is that she's female. So identity will eventually...
Who do we blame now? We blame the parents.
Of course now.
We blame the parents
Of course.
that are stylishly erasing our cultural heritage.
It's dangerous. It is irresponsible of us as parents, teachers, and everything. Oh, Mama, so Oyinbo can answer. Oyinbo will answer. What English are they speaking? That we are throwing away our identity. The moment you lose your identity, oh, Pari. Okay, what else do you have without identity? And what are the things? Language. Do you know the number of people that speak Yoruba outside Nigeria now? In Brazil. In Brazil. We were deceiving ourselves.
Even you see foreigners, even this University of Ibadan here, you see foreigners, white men and women coming here to study Yoruba language.
Not Yoruba language alone, no.
African-
Yoruba religions.
Yoruba language and religion.
Ifa, everything. And then, can you imagine the situation in which we will now have to go to Europe to learn about, or Brazil, about our own identity? The Ifa and the Orishas in Brazil now, we don't even have them here.
Okay, let's move away from that particular story and let's go to politics a bit now. 2027 polls. Let's fix PDP to save Nigeria. Saraki, Makinde, page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper has that story. Now, saying they want to save Nigeria.
I'm happy to hear Saraki speak up.
Okay.
Saraki is expected. It must be 60 or a little over 60 now. Saraki is expected to be a leading light of that party, though he's one of those who put one of the major nails in the coffin of PDP in their desperation for power. It was a desperation for power.
What power was he looking for then? He already had the power on the PDP.
No, he was. When you have power, you want more now. Okay, you want more. You want more. When you have money, you want power. When you have power, you use it to corner money. And when you have money, you use it to corner power to corner more money.
Do we now say that they realized their mistakes and going back to the drawing board?
You see, for me, it is an issue of the elites. The elites have a duty. It is not the masses of the people that will produce any change in Nigeria. People can demonstrate, people can shout, people can end bad governance and end hunger and all of that. It's not going to produce any result.
So what will produce results?
The elites. It is any nation that has moved forward. It is what they call the elite consensus that moves nations forward. And I've asked people, I said, so what's the elite consensus in Nigeria? Somebody said, is it not apparent that the elite consensus in Nigeria is state capture? That the Nigerian state has been captured by the elite. Is it not apparent?
It is.
The elite has captured everything that represents the state. The elites have captured it, and look at the issue of security. Rather than the police policing all of us, the police is policing the elite. You see the elite, 10 policemen, 5 policemen. In his house in Lagos, he has 4 policemen. In his house in Ibadan, he has 6. And going around with him, he has another 4 or 8. Can you imagine? His wife will have. They will detail some
for the kids too.
Those are policemen that are supposed to police all
that are being paid
by the taxpayers,
by our own money
to police the society. They are now not policing us. They have abandoned us. They are now policing the elite.
And sometimes carrying bags for them.
So, and these are the symbols of state that have been appropriated by individuals, the elite. So, the elite are not thinking about the people. And what baffles me is that even in those advanced, the so-called saner climes, the elites think ahead of time. All this social security that the elites provide in Europe and America, it's not because they love the people. It is to safeguard themselves. They look at it and say, these people are dangerous. Let us provide them the minimum. You understand? Do you know that the welfare that is given in England, they add money for a bottle or two of beer on Friday? It is a British thing. They must drink. If they eat and they don't drink, their joy is not full on a Friday. So it is included even in the welfare calculation.
By the government.
Yes, 2 pints of beer.
It is a must every Friday.
What are they doing after work on Friday? They head to the pub. So, these people, if they get angry, everything we have built, they will destroy it. So, let's keep them happy. Whether they're working, let's keep them happy. Or yes, all these things, they will come and destroy it too. But our own elite, rather than do that, they are building walls. They are building maximum security prisons and they are calling it homes. Then they are safeguarding themselves with police, with soldiers, and all of that. That is looking down, not looking ahead.
All right, still talking politics here. Godwin Obaseki's admin tenure is gradually winding down. A few weeks to go. And he's saying something here. He said, I am not afraid of EFCC. Will hand myself over if.
It is good. You know, when he went to, where did he go? Was it Spain or something? Immediately after the election. And the media started saying the man had fled, you know. You see, Obaseki is clearly, and his wife, they are clearly refined people, you understand? And I've noticed that the APC, they say 1 point something trillion or something like that they're going to probe.
Even Adams Oshiomhole has been making that statement ever since the election favored his party.
What if Obaseki decided to probe Adams Oshiomhole?
But my concern now is, why is it that every time a public office holder leaves the post, there is always a need to probe for? Why don't we get such in those developed countries?
Distractions now. Because they are not. Why they are probing?
So automatically, it's like a default setting that once he has been a governor, he has been this, he must have embezzled some money.
I salute Obaseki. Did you hear any time that he said he was going to probe Oshiomhole? In spite of all the what Oshiomhole himself did, that is on record, did or claimed to have done and did not do. Did you ever hear 8 years? The man did not. So is that why they have been elected? They say Obaseki did not perform, did not do this, not do that. And so is it the pro? That's distraction. Is that not what Buhari did? What Buhari and his people did? And then they started when they started probing and arresting and prosecuting people. Then the next thing we heard was corruption is fighting back. Somebody told me that was the most irresponsible.
but in some cases, some of these public figures, these public office holders, these political office holders, they embezzle money.
Okay, now is it the government that will probe them? What about the security agents? What about EFCC?
We still have an ex-governor on the run.
Why? Shebi it is the security people that are supposed to probe.
The person that succeeded him, Ododo,
is protecting
him, saying that even the State House of Assembly came out and said their money is not missing.
Shebi, they are not the security agents.
But EFCC is saying that huge amount of money is missing.
They said
under
they said 80 billion, then they stepped it up to 118.
But the State House of Assembly and the governor said our money is intact.
There's another state that they said Delta 1.2 trillion.
1.2
Okowa. That gentle looking man. So it is not the duty of the government that succeed to start probing people. It is the duty of the state. All those ones are political.
But why do we play politics like that in this country? I mean, that brings to mind.
Because we are a people that can be played around and toyed with. Look, American elections. Everybody knew the reason why he was voting for A or B. This is the attraction. And those attractions are not ethnic, they are not religious, they are not prebenda, they are, this is my interest.
But is it just about us? What about the political office holders that see the public funds as their piggy bank, like Kemi Badenoch said?
Didn't you hear that man, Undume? He said Nigerian people are the enablers of corruption. I know one man that was nominated to be a minister. Within a space of 48 hours, brand new cars started arriving in his house. I remember it was about Salah time. People were bringing cows, not rams.
So that when he assumes office,
yes,
they can
he was nominated. And you know the funny thing, the man did not scale nominate this green.
So wait, what happened to the brand new cars that were brought to his house?
Will you come and take it? Did he ask for it? That's how God helps on people.
Interesting, sir. Okay, there are still some trending stories I would like to talk about now. One is, we spoke about, so was it last week when we talked about the issue between the Bolt driver in Abuja that was being assaulted by a member of the House of Assembly, Honorable
House of Reps.
House of Reps, Honorable Alex Ikweche. And there is a twist. You informed me last night about the twist in the story.
I knew, when I saw it, I said, eh?
I mean, interesting maybe for listeners that have not seen the update. Well, the boat driver that was assaulted by Honorable Alex Ikweche has made a viral video apologizing to the Honorable Rep member.
The case is in court, though.
The case is in court, but this is what he had to say.
Please listen, no.
Nigerians. My name is Steven Abuashiri, the boat driver that had a misunderstanding with Right Honorable Mascot Igwechi some days ago. I still actually want to apologize to him that I'm sorry for whatever I must have said or must have done to have provoked him to that level of anger. I am very, very sorry. This is actually a medium where I would like to tell all Nigerians that it is not time for us to start dividing ourselves based on religions or tribe or region or anything. That we should actually come together and try to see how we can unite this nation and move the nation forward. Please, Nigerians, let's forgive and forget. As even contained in our Lord's Prayer, that Lord, please forgive us as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Now, that's the voice of the boat driver that was assaulted, that kept on claiming that he didn't do anything to infuriate the honorable member. But now he's coming in the open, making a viral video, apologizing to the man for wrongdoing. Now, what must have changed?
Well, you see, when I saw the thing, I said, what is happening?
What could have changed?
Inducement now.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
It must be one form of inducement or the other.
Inducement in what way?
Inducement, you see, two extremes. I said to myself, that guy, because that's what, look, the camera is in court. And it was for assault, battery and all of that. And this is a member of House of Rep. And it is the Adeyanju that is pushing that case. It could lead to serious problems. So maybe they have been, I said, okay, maybe they have been persuading the man, you know, and to settle it.
Persuasion
amicably.
or threat?
Persuasion first.
Persuasion, threat. Okay, persuasion first.
And the man is saying, no, and we're going to go through this legal process. And they say, okay, let's go dig him up. So they go and dig him up. You know, there's no hiding place for people now. You go and dig people up online. You find him must have committed some infractions against the law. One criminal footprint here and there. And they say, okay, this is you. And, you know,
But
they have the power.
But some Nigerians are insinuating probably.
Yes, that's one extreme.
He's been settled.
Yes, that's one end.
Settled.
So, okay, what? Okay, even if it's settled.
Because I remember there was a video that the very, very dark man came out and said that they've been receiving many calls from the friends and associates of the honorable member saying that, okay, let's resolve it amicably. What do you want? What should we do? And things like that. Maybe they've been able to gather some.
Even if they resolved amicably like that. Okay, why apologize now?
That's my problem.
What is the basis of apology?
Because this man,
a viral video went round.
We all saw him slapping him. We all saw everything that happened.
I mean, when you arrived and everything. So why are you now saying for your provocation? How you
apologize for provoking him?
For provoking him to anger. And the man, I don't even understand, though, even if he was settled.
Is it true that what money cannot do does not exist?
Well, I think the scripture says even as much as that. And the scripture also says, the scripture didn't say money is the root of all evil. It said the love of money.
The love of money.
Not money.
Okay, still on from the dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. And one last issue I'd like us to talk about is I was asking you before the program about this lady, this Nigerian, British Nigerian lady that is vying for the post of the Prime Minister in the UK, talking about Olukemi Olufunto Badenoch. I mean, there has been this controversy between her and what's the name of this lady now? Abike Dabiri, the chairperson of Nigerians in Diaspora Affairs. And I saw a particular interview that Abike Dabiri granted, saying that they've been trying to familiarize themselves.
What do they want from her?
With the woman.
Familiarize to what end? What do they want from her?
After all, she's a Nigerian. And the question Nigerians are now saying that, why is it now that you're now famsing?
Is she looking Nigerian?
You mean, Kemi?
Is she looking like a Nigerian? Is Richie Sunak, does Richie Sunak look like a Nigerian? Or like an Indian?
Now, look at let's listen to what Abike Dabiri said.
You see, it depends. If she identifies, you see, as the Nigerianness in her, you know, we've reached out to her once or twice without any response. So we don't force people to accept to be Nigerian. So if you appreciate the Nigerianness in you and you want to work with us, we're open to everybody, but we cannot force you to appreciate the Nigerianness in you. You remember the Miss Universe Nigeria in South Africa? She until she got into a little problem with South Africa, and she identified with Nigeria, came to Nigeria, we hosted her, received her warmly. Right. Listen, as long as that blood in you, you're Nigerian. So it's that to Kemi to decide whether she appreciates the Nigerianness in her, whether she wants to work with Nigeria, but we'll be glad to, but we cannot force anybody. There are some who will tell you that, I don't like that, your country. We can't force them, but we work with thousands of millions of Nigerians.
Now, Abike Dabiri, they're talking about the fact that Kemi doesn't want to associate with the Nigeria as a country. But let's take a listen at what Kemi had to say in response to that. Why she decided not to affiliate with anything politics or politicians in Nigeria.
And running to be Prime Minister when you're a 42-year-old is by definition ambitious. But I am ambitious, but for our country and for our party. I chose to become a Conservative MP to serve, and I chose this country because here I could breathe free and I could be everything that I wanted to be. I grew up in Nigeria and I saw firsthand what happens when politicians are in it for themselves, when they use public money as their private piggy banks, when they promise the earth and pollute not just the air but the whole political atmosphere with their failure to serve others. I saw what socialism means for millions. It's poverty and broken dreams. I came to Britain determined to make my way in a country where hard work and honest endeavor can take you anywhere.
Did you hear that?
I was really moved by that last statement. That she
Hard
came where
work.
hard work
Determined.
and determination will take you anywhere. Does hard work take anyone anywhere? Yeah, to be honest.
I don't know. My father used to tell me hard work. I will never forget.
So
that.
let's talk about what Kemi said. Why she decided to be a politician in the UK.
Okay, now can you be a politician in Nigeria? I mean, what are you going to? What you have ideas, right? You know, even Yoruba language they say, idea. And the English says ideas rule the world.
Definitely.
People think money rules the world. I've had to address, teenagers and say, money does not rule the world. Ideas rule the world. It is your ideas. And I mean bankable ideas. You understand? Ideas. Even when people with money, resources, when they see you, listen to you, you do a presentation, they would say, this is a bankable idea. But people think money rules the world. That is the psyche. Ask people. People want money. People desire money. Ask them, what do they want to do with the money?
And that part that Kemi said, she doesn't want to be in a country where politicians they promise earth, and they are the ones, they would not just pollute the earth with their dirty things and the fact that they turn the public funds into their personal piggy banks. So she doesn't want to have anything to do with that kind of politics that we play in this country.
I don't understand how it is so. We Nigerians, look, if you put 100 million
as we wrap up,
Nigerians that are complaining, are saying people are stealing money, just put them there. Shebi awon yen, shebi won ji owo ni. Those ones will even remove the
treasury
they will remove it. I'm dead serious. And ask them what they want to do with the money. You understand? What money itself is not an end. You understand? What are you doing with it? They just want to acquire things that are personal. Ride one big car. I said to people, you buy this car to what end? What is the purpose? You just want to puff around and do what? That is not the essence of money. Impacting the people around you. You choose whether it is education, whether it is health, whether it is children, whether it is geriatric. That's where people impact. You leave your footprints in the sands of time, but people want to
impact lives and make lives better, to put smiles on the faces of the people.
No, they
to
want
help
it,
the downtrodden.
want it to their personal ends alone.
They rather want to oppress.
People use monstrous phones. Ask them, what are they doing with it? Appearances. I use.
In the UK, I've seen some videos of public office holders there queuing at bus stations with ordinary people in quotes.
They are not ordinary, but what is?
I mean, I'm just putting in quotes. Automatically, if you are a public office holder in Nigeria, you are above.
Okay, what happens to our public office holders in Nigeria? Right?
For Alex Equator to be saying, "Do you know who I am? Do you know?" I mean, that kind of mindset.
Oh, have you not seen our governor in the train? British. Do you not see the British Prime Minister? It is only the American system where they do imperial.
And out here, they don't even obey traffic rules.
The ex-chancellor of German ex-chancellor, that Angela Merkel, she lived in a 2-bedroom apartment doing her laundry as chancellor. But here, they won't hold your phone for you if you are one bloody chancellor. When the likes of Afe Babalola, Are Babalola served as councillors, a professor, chairman of local government, can you imagine the quality of service that will be delivered to that local government? Who are the people now?
Comrade.
Your Excellency. And they want to even describe the governor. They say Olola Julo. Olola of where? From where?
He's to serve us. He's our servant. As a matter of fact,
it is what they call the rank adede syndrome and the KBC syndrome.
All these public service, public office holders, they are supposed to be our servants.
They do not know.
We employed them.
They do not understand when you are called a public office holder.
We that even elected them, that employed them, that gave them.
I think even we that put them in office do not know.
That's what I'm saying.
We think as that's why they say before back I say, what's the meaning of that? What's the meaning of that? How did he become Oba? Shebi was elected Oba. But I think one gentleman here that I bring here once now, he will say the Nigerian youth, we need a mental revolution. They are talking revolution. I said, no. Mental revolution. Something is wrong with us in our heads.
Comrade, thank you very much. It's been a very very interesting session with you this morning.
Thank you very much.
And what are your plans for the weekend?
I think, it's going to be today. I conclude a few things and go and rest. Tomorrow, work and rest.
Okay.
And of course, on Sunday, go and worship God. Okay. In his majesty, and give thanks.
All right, thank you very much once again, Comrade AYODEJI.
My pleasure.
That's the wrap for today. We're back again Monday morning for a fresh edition of From the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. My name is Adetamola LAFFY, and like we say, let's keep our cultural heritage alive. Don't despise your cultural heritage.
It is our identity. It is who we are.
It is our identity. All right. Wishing every one of us a very wonderful weekend. Good morning once again.